Aquaba. Welcome to the Melanated Truth. We're on the couch, and you know what this is. This is Social Thursday. We're definitely going to talk about everything that has got to do with nature, social, environment, political, money, whatever you can think about. Anything that worries you, you can post a question, you can bring a question. Right, this is Social Thursday, and I'm here to continue what I started last week. This beautiful process of a man and a woman coming together. You understand the process of them unifying. There's a spirit behind a man and a woman coming together. I'll get there very soon. There's a spirit behind it. You just don't come together. The powers that be and the forces of nature bring people together. They will people together. And when that happens, you continue on that part, and that is the process. They teach you how to be a parent. The hormonal drive of every individual is a force on its own. It's an energy on its own. Some may say it's a spirit on its own that functions with its own intelligence. It's an energy that moves with its own intelligence. It knows when to come up. It knows when to go down. And yes, there are certain elemental beings or elemental bodies that controls or have influence over this hormonal drive. But majority of the time, this hormonal drive is operating on its own. And it can turn a person inside out. When this drive kicks in, you'll be amazed at things that one person can do that you would never see the person do on a normal day. So these elements like the moon, whenever it's a full moon, the moon does not only affect the things that evolves around us, but also have a direct impact with the things that goes on in you. For example, whenever it's full moon, you realize that the sea rises, or even in the evening when the moon comes out, the sea rises, right? So the moon has a direct impact on the water that is around us. But don't forget, your body also contains 72 to 73% water. Okay, so if the moon is having a direct impact with the water bodies around us and in the universe, the waters above and the waters below, it is the same way the moon has a direct impact on the water bodies. The water in you rises up every time it's full moon. And every time the moons come up, not just full moon, but also in the evenings as well. Every time the moon shows up or displays. You got what I'm saying? So, but when it's full moon though, everything about your senses rises up. It increases the potential of everything that is in you. So if you're a moody person, when it gets to full moon, you become very moody. If you're a sexual person, when it comes to full moon, you become very sexual. If you're an arrogant person, when it gets to the full moon, you become very arrogant. So whatever character that is in you, the moon has a direct impact on it. It is the same way our hormonal drives also have an impact in our character. It shows us how we think, how we talk, the kind of things that interest us. All of a sudden, you begin to have certain conversations that you normally wouldn't have. All of a sudden, you begin to think about things that you didn't really fancy. Certain things begin to attract you. You begin to attract certain things, and all of a sudden, you're having conversations about certain things that you normally wouldn't have about. It's simply because your hormonal drives are in charge. This happened between the ages of 15 to 35. So once you are in this range, 15 to 35, this 20 years range, you would always be driven by your hormonal drives. Remember, this is an intelligence that operates on its own. It has its own geniusness engulfed within itself. That is why naturally, when women get to certain stages, they naturally get turned on. Naturally. When men get to certain times of the day, it's not necessarily every time. Like I told you, the moon has a direct impact to your sexuality or your character or your emotions. So I know a lot of men, I can't speak for all men, a lot of men really get turned on during the night hours. The reason being, the moon is up. When the sun is up, the sun's energy is not sexual. The sun's energy is not sexual, but the moon's energy is sexual. That is why a lot of sexual activities goes on in the night, because the moon is up and it directly influences your sexual drives. But these sexual drives aside the moon has its own intelligence and can change your mood at any given time. These hormonal drives, it can change your mood at any given time. 1 minute you can be this, the next minute you can be that. So there's an intelligence on its own that is constantly trying to let you do the things that it wants. Constantly putting you in positions that all of a sudden it feels like you are not in control anymore. This is when a lot of people lose control and do a lot of stuff that they end up regretting. You see how very vital this subject is. So it's not about just lying down and having sex with each other. It's about the things, the processing unit behind sex, which I call the hormonal drive. When this drive is out of control, that is when certain women just like sleeping around. It's not like they just want to sleep around, but something within them that is not control is driving them to get themselves involved in certain things. So when this subject is not really broken down and taught well to people within these ages, 15 to 35, now they go about making a lot of mistakes and they go about doing a lot of things that they would never do after 35 years old or before 15 years old. This is a kind of studies, or this is a kind of discussions or conversations that needs to happen in our society today. Any person that is leading any group or any community or any association should be able to talk about these things to the people you are relating with. Because whether you like it or not, nobody can be in the spirit 24/7. Nobody. No single human being can be reliable for 24 hours. Whatever you do within that 24 hours, you'll be quiet a bit. You'll be smiley at a point. You'll be excited at a point. You'll frown at a point. You'll be laughing at a point. You'll be a bit moody at a point. The 24 hours, you cannot be in one mood forever. So it doesn't matter who you are. If these people that are listening to you are not also educated in this department, when those moments come, what do you think they're going to do? I'm telling you, I don't know if any of you do experience this, but there are certain times, especially when before people got married, that when you indulge in sexual activities, the drive before the sexual activity, you are all hyped up. Yes, you are all excited. You want to do it. You so want to do it bad. But right after that, when the sexual drive resents, all of a sudden your consciousness come alive, and now you beginning to look at what have just happened, and you go like, oh, I said I wasn't going to do this again. Why am I here? I said I was never going to do this again. The reason why you come to that place is because when you are not in control, or when nobody has taught you how to control this energy called the sexual drive, when nobody has taught you how to control this thing takes over. And until it is satisfied, it will not stop. It will not stop. I mean, you'll be amazed. There are certain people in certain situations when these drives kick in, until they do what this drive is telling them, this energy, this spirit is telling them, until they do it, they are not satisfied. They can't do anything else. Until they go there, that is how come a lot of people go into masturbation. That's why a lot of people go into a lot of things. Because they are not in control of the drive. Nobody taught them how to channel this energy. Remember, this is an energy. So if nobody teaches you how to channel this energy into other departments, into other possibilities, all you will do when this energy comes is to mess around. That's all you do. The consequences of this action too does not go away. The consequences does not go away. So I think it's only right for people to come to this place where they can discuss this energy. They can have this conversation. They can ask questions of what to do when these energies, these drives are in control. What do you do? Because until you are 35 and upwards, you are not free from the sexual drive. After 35, if you still behave in that way, that is on you. That is not on the sexual drive. That is why even medical doctors tell you the best time to have children is between 15 and 35. Because that is the best time. That is the time that the sexual drive kicks in and takes over and control your hormones. Or your hormonal drive. That's, I should say, rather than the sex drive. Your hormonal drive. But it's the same thing. But hormonal drive goes broader. The sexual drive is a bit limited in conversation. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is a subject that attention should be given to. A lot of people made the mistake to think that intimacy starts when you are in contact with a person. When you come into direct contact with a person, so they feel that until you get to this person, oh, I'm not really intimate with a person. No, intimacy does not only start when you come into contact with a person. Intimacy starts in your emotions. So a lot of people are sleeping with a lot of people even before they come into contact with them. Sometimes you walk down the street and then, I'm going to say that I'm not trying to frighten you. Or sometimes you can just be there and you feel really drained. You feel really drained. The kind of draining that you know, especially if you're sexually active, the kind of draining that you know you only get when you get into that sexual act, right? So you feel very drained and you don't even know why you feel this drained. Because emotionally, I don't want to go into the spirit so much so. I just want to stay here on the energy levels and the emotion levels. Emotionally, there's an intimacy going on with or without your consent. With your consent is when you actually also think about a person and you also put the person in thought process in that manner. I mean, that is when you look at somebody and you imagine all sorts of stuff like, I can't wait to be with this guy. I can't wait to be with this girl. When you think like that, you are not only thinking it, but in the astral dimension. That's the better word to use at this stage. In the astral dimension, your body, your astral body, not this physical body, your astral body had already gone forth and is having intimacy with this person, especially when you and the person begin to think of the same thing at the same time. You meet in the dimension and begin to get intimate even before you physically meet the person. That is how come you can get drained. It means that your astral body is getting drained sexually even before your body comes into contact with the person. That is how come you can get that much drained just as you are in a physical act. So, though most people are not physically in bed with other people, right? Emotionally or spiritually or energy-wise, they are already sleeping with the people. They are already having sex with them. So you can be in your bedroom or you can be in your living room, you can be in your house, but you are not 100% in that place. Your projections, your thought projections is with that person. So though you are physically here, you are not 100% here. You're only about 70% here because 30% of you is with the person that you are intimate with. Spiritually, not physically. Because you've projected your mind, your body, and your thoughts into the place of the person. This is a very dangerous place to be in. So you can be physically somewhere, but emotionally and mentally and spiritually, you are in another place. So it's very important that we come into this place where we are able to control our hormonal drive. Until you learn to control this hormonal drive, this energy, this force, this spirit that drives you, especially when you are in the band of 15 and 35 years old, you need to be able to learn to channel this energy into other possibilities, so that you always don't give yourself to other people before you even actually get intimate with them. Because somebody, listen, people can be in this world and project themselves to sleep with you and go back. I'm telling you, if you don't train this thing that is within you, this energy, this force that is within you, somebody can just be sitting down and leave where they are sitting and come all the way and sleep with you and go back. So sometimes, let me show you something. Let's see the women. You can just be in a situation, maybe you're in a meeting or something, and you don't even know why, but all of a sudden you are wet. You feel discharges on your body. These things are not just normal. It's not just happening. There's a case that I was in a conversation with somebody, and the person was saying, I have this thing where I sleep with people and I get satisfied. Anybody that I meet, anybody that I like, I can just come look at you. Sometimes just have a handshake with you. Sometimes just when you smile with a person. Sometimes when you just, oh, how are you? I like you. Oh, I like you too. But when you engage in those conversations, the person was telling me that is my gift. I can just sleep with anybody I want. Have you ever been in a situation where you just don't know how you got close to somebody? This was the person that you wouldn't want to have anything to do, but all of a sudden you are close to the person. How do you think these things happen? Because these people like that in the realms of the spirit are able to channel their energies to have conversations with you and to have you to like them even before they get close to you. So when a lot of people talk about the subject of sex and think it's only happening in the natural realm, that is not the case. In the spiritual realm, it is happening. And those that are weak, those that are not training their systems, those that are not training their spirit, those that are not increasing their capacity or channeling their energy into protective shields, get taken advantage of spiritually all the time. Have you ever had a dream that you were sleeping with somebody you didn't even know who this person is? You just had a dream you're sleeping. Some of the time, listen, it's your sexual energy that is desiring these things. So once you are not giving in physically, maybe you are too occupied with work, you are too occupied with stuff that goes on around you, so you don't pay attention to these things, okay? Once you are not giving attention to that, it takes over you and it begins to get engaged with certain people. Because it is there. You are not satisfied in it. But at the same time, you are not in control of it. So this drive would go out and satisfy itself and come back in. Listen, we are more powerful than we think we are. We can do a whole lot than we think we are. We are capable of doing a whole lot than we think we are. We just haven't paid enough attention to it. So intimacy is not only going on when you are physically with a person, but it's also happening in the realms, in the astral realm. I want to stay in this bracket of you training yourself not to allow your hormonal drive to take you all over the place, to have intimacy with anybody at all you see. Okay, there are people that spiritually are predators. Spiritually, they take advantage. Spiritually, they molest a lot of people. So you need to be on the guard. You need to bring bring up your shield. You need to bring up your defenses. You see, sometimes when you are even going to sleep, you have to make sure you tell your body. This is when you're in control. You have to make sure you tell your body, because you are in charge. But your hormones are a drive on its own. It is a power on its own, and it has its own intelligence, right? So you need to be able to control it and tell it, you are not leaving my body. Don't give your thought to anybody that don't deserve it. Don't give your attention to anybody. That is a bit of you. A lot of people don't even know they astral project. A lot of people don't even know they leave their body. See, you can be sitting in your home and think about somebody, right? When you are thinking about somebody, your thought is chasing after the person. Your thought is going after the person. So a bit of you leave this physical body that is sitting here and goes to wherever this person is. Sometimes you can think about somebody so much so you get so tired and you don't even know why you're tired. The minute you put a price tag on something, you automatically or you immediately devalue the thing. The minute you put a price tag on something, you immediately bring the value of that very thing down because of a price tag. So this society that we find ourselves, we are a price tag society. In our little minds, or in our limited minds or consciousness, we think some way, somehow, the more pricey a thing is, the more valuable it is. No, that is wrong. That is absolutely wrong. The minute you tag something with a price, it literally means that that thing can be bought. The minute you say that, oh, this is so and so amount, it means that thing can be bought. When you say something has no price, what does it mean? It means you cannot pay. Whenever you don't put a price tag on something, it means you cannot pay for the thing. It's too expensive, you cannot even think of paying it. Okay? We have made something so beautiful that a creator created to be priceless become very pricey. That is how come a lot of men go ahead to disrespect a lot of women, because they know you can be bought. You are a price tag. Let me break this down and pray you get it. Let's picture this. If you have a friend and the friend literally takes nothing from you, but every time your friend comes around, he rather comes to give to you, support, but literally takes nothing from you, right? This friend A. And we have this friend B, that every time friend B comes around you, friend B is trying to take something away from you. These two relationships, friend A and friend B, who is more valuable to you? The one that is always taken from you, and the one that takes nothing from you but rather give to you. Which of these two is more valuable to you? Two women. Man, let's paint this picture. You go into one family, the father tells you, this is my bride price. You go into another family, the father tells you, no bride price, nothing. That's my daughter, no price on her. The two women, which one would you value most? This is a tricky one. Which one would you value most? No, give me an answer. I'm waiting for you. Which one? This is a place where I would love to see everybody's answer in the comments, though we are not live, right? When you leave a comment, tell me your answer at this very point. Which one of these two women do you think has more value? The one that came with the bride price, or the one that the father told you, you know what, this is my precious daughter. I give it to her. I give her to you. I just give my daughter to you. Just take care of it. Which one would you value most? I'm telling you, everybody would be so tempted to think that, okay, the one that came with a bride price, right? Don't fall into that trap. The one that is being given to you freely is the one that is more expensive. But in our society today, we say what? Put a ring on it. Put a ring on it. When you discover the history of the ring on the finger, you would never want anybody to put any ring on anything. The minute, just if you didn't hear anything at all, just learn this today. The minute you put a price on your life, you devalue yourself. If you think I'm lying, let me ask you, what is the price of a human being? Now you get it. What is the price of a human being? And don't say, but it's customary and it's marriage and you have to pay a bride price. No, it's tradition. Somebody practiced it and it became what it is. But there's nowhere, whether it be scripture or you can go through all the gurus or anybody that claims to be very spiritual, there is no God. There's no God that will tell you, or no divine being that will tell you, put a price on this woman. No one. It's not scriptural. It's not biblical. No one told you put a price. These are human practices that have become the norm of the day. You cannot pay for the price of a woman. Can you pay for the 9 months the mother had to go through to bring that woman out? Women, don't limit yourself to price tags. You reduce your value. And that is why the men go ahead to disrespect you. If you think I'm lying, let me paint another picture to you. When you start dating someone, or when you start a relationship with someone, how do they treat you? No. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. How do they treat you? They will never say certain things. They will never behave certain ways. The minute the man begins to feel like I own her now, I have her now, all of a sudden they change. That is why it's very dangerous as a woman to put yourself in this place where a man begins to feel like they own you. You are too valuable to be owned by any other human being. Do we not say all the time the best things in life comes for free? Do we not say that? We say all the best things in life comes for free. So how is it that you are putting a price tag on the greatest thing that ever happened to humanity, you and I? Why? So I'm not the best and that is why I'm not coming for free? Price tags devalue everything. I mean, listen, what are the basic needs? What are basic needs? Food, water, air, shelter, clothing, health, medicine. What else? Relationships, right? And education too. Yes, education. What is the value of these things? This society is monetizing every single thing. But the Creator does not create this thing with a price tag. The Creator freely gives these things. But human beings are the one monetizing everything because of the systems that we function in. We function in a system where you basically have no choice. Honestly, you basically have no choice than to follow this systematic principle or nature that says you have to pay for everything. Do you know the funny thing? None of the things you are paying for are the best things in life. The water they're supplying you is not the purest water. The food they are giving you is not the most organic food. All organic foods are grown in people's gardens, right? The medicine they are giving you is not the purest ones, because the purest medicines are all in the forest, right? Somebody once told me, if they could even charge you, they charge you for the very air you breathe. Would it be the right air though? Because the water you're paying for that is coming in your house is not pure. Everything else that they put a price tag for you, or everything else that they put a price tag on it, loses its value, its pureness, its rawness, its beauty gets drained down. Do you know what it means for a woman to say, I've given myself to you? Do you know what that means? I have given. Listen, I have my will. Listen, I've given everything to you. Oh, that's beautiful. This is beautiful. When a woman says, I am giving myself to you. Listen, I grew up in an environment where I knew a lot of elderly people that were staying with each other and didn't do anywhere, no price tags, and they lived a beautiful life because the man knew I didn't own this woman, and if I misbehave today, this woman would just pack up and leave. Listen, when you know you are losing something, you know there's a possibility you will lose this thing any day now, you wouldn't mess with it. That is why I said, whenever anybody is starting a relationship, they pay all the details. They pay particular attention to every single detail. Once they come in it, they relax. That is just the nature of man. The biblical text for sex is what? A man knew his wife, or a man came into the wife. This is so deep. I believe when we begin to understand it from this dimension, we would not take sex lightly at all. It is not just something you just do because a man knew his wife. What does it mean to know somebody? It means what? Before you come into the person, before you go intimate with the person, you first have to know this person. The man knew his wife in so many spectrums and dimensions that he never knew before. That is beautiful. The man knew his wife. Where was the certificate here? None. Zero certificate. The Most High did not demand a certificate from Adam before Adam knew his wife, came into his wife. Are you getting what I'm saying? Let me show you something. If somebody comes out with an invention, right, and a person says, I've created this machine or this invention that when you invest into this invention, you would be able to produce the perfect baby that you've ever dreamt of. I'm talking about everything you've ever expected in a child. You would produce the perfect baby. Do you know how many people would invest in this invention? Almost everybody, right? Who doesn't want to perfect something? But I'm definitely sure this person would even win a Nobel Prize for this invention. I'm pretty sure he would win. Yes, you've created a perfect human being, meaning we're going to have a society of perfect people. Who wouldn't invest in that? But you know the funny thing, the Creator has beaten everybody to it. He's gone ahead already to create this invention, and that invention is you. You are that invention. You are this invention. And he said that, listen, you are this invention, and you can create the perfect child that you want to see in this dimension. Now that you know that this invention is you, would you still invest in this invention? Would you still invest in it? But if it was a scientist or inventor that came out, you invest in it, right? But now that this invention is yourself, you, because you just didn't know it, but you can create the perfect child you want to create. If you want to create tall children, what do you do? If you want to create short babies, what do you do? How do you marry somebody that is short, and if you want tall children, expect that you have tall children? If you want somebody with a big head, children that have big head, right? What do you do? If you want children that are intelligent, what do you do? If you want children that are gifted in a particular area of their life, what do you do? In an area, what do you do? Won't you marry somebody that is that? That is the machine that you have. You have the ability to reproduce yourself, but reproduce yourself in perfection. That is why you just don't get up and be with anybody you want to be just because the sexual drive is dragging you here. No, you calm down, you take control, and you decide who to offer this valuable gift. You decide who to give this gift to. You decide who to share this amazing gift that you are given. The most the most valuable, the most priceless thing is you. You are the most priceless gift you can ever have as a human being. And yet we freely, cheaply give this gift away, cheaply give it to anybody. We cheaply give this gift to anybody. How many people that have come in and out of your life that you felt did not deserve it? Okay, great. Now that you feel they don't deserve you, how did they end up with you anyway? If you feel they don't deserve you now, how did you end up with them? Because you didn't take time to go to the biblical text of you that says what? The man knew his wife. You didn't take time to know the person. You just allowed your hormonal drive to drag you into certain decisions that you did not consider. A lot of people have been in relationships that they didn't want to be there. It was their hormonal drive that dragged them. So now that you've gone there and experienced that, you say, oh, I love you. You don't love him. You just loved what you just enjoyed. It's not about her or it's not about him. It's all about what you just enjoyed. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are valuable. Stop giving yourself freely, cheaply, because of material. Listen, we've devalue ourselves so much that we equate ourselves with material things. Oh, he got me this expensive car. That is your value of a car? A house is the value? A house? So we brought our value down to material things that are perishable. Listen, you don't perish. You only move on from this body. I think I've said it in so many episodes already. If you have this beautiful invention that the Creator created that has the ability to reproduce itself, is it not your job to take care of it? Is it not your job to be mindful who you give this to, who you share this to? I guess it's true what they say. People don't know what they got till they lose it. So you never know the value of yourself, of your sex, till you lose it to anybody. Then when people take advantage of your value and devalue yourself, then all of a sudden, now you've lost it. Listen, anybody you sleep with, you lose a part of you for the person. Yes, I'll come to that next week. Anybody you sleep with, you lose a piece of yourself with a person. The person carries it away and you can never have it back. I'm telling you, anybody you sleep with takes a part of you away, you will never have it back. Listen, my time is up. I gotta go. Bless you. You know I love you. We are here to learn. We are here to study. We are here to grow in all dimensions, not just in the mind, not just in our health, but also in our sexuals, also in who we are, understanding who we are and understanding who the Creator has made us to be. Tomorrow is Spirit Fridays. It's going to be amazing. I can feel it in my spirit already. Don't miss it tomorrow for anything. I'll continue this next week on a deeper level. Stay blessed. I love you. Make sure you tell somebody about this family.